Chevy Vortec V8 GMT 800 trucks, AC leak spots. Here's every single one, quick and easy. How to find them, fix them, and get it to stop leaking. Let's check it out. Trust me, I'm a mechanic. All right, here's a cat eye for you. So we got a cat eye and a bubble eye. We're gonna be showing where the leaks are. All right, so on these trucks, right down in here, this is the problem area, the problem center right here for me. This leaks the most. This is the low pressure port. Then you have the pressure switch down in there. That leaks. It's got an O-ring and a Schrader valve. Then you have the high pressure port right here, and this leaks too. So those are the three most common leak points. 1, 2, 3 right here. All right, so on these trucks, the low pressure port and the pressure switch and the high pressure port leak the most. So if the low pressure leaks, you can get a special tool, screw it on there, extract the leaking valve, put a new one in there while the system is still under pressure. The high pressure port, you can't do that. You got to drain the system and swap out the port for a new one. They make one that's got a Schrader valve in the center of it instead of this plastic ball valve, and then you can use the special tool if it leaks in the future. So low pressure side, can do it under pressure with the special tool. High pressure side, you got to swap it out. Now the pressure switch can go bad, although it's not as common as you'd think. It normally leaks down. It's got a Schrader valve under there and an O-ring under there, and we can swap them out. So you can replace the pressure switch while it's under pressure. You just got to unscrew it, screw a new one on. But I have noticed when I unscrew these things, they start leaking out of there because that valve up in there is bad, and you take this pressure switch off, it'll start hissing on you. You got to screw the other one on fast. You know, it might create a leak. So the plastic caps that screw on there don't really seal much. They don't hold in the refrigerant. They're designed to hold in a little bit, I guess. You know, if it's leaking a little bit, it'll stop the leak because it's got a rubber seal in there. But really, all the sealing is done by the Schrader valves and the ball valve. So you can just swap the caps out and it'll slow down the leak, but it's not gonna fix the problem 99% of the time. So for the high pressure valve, there is a brass plug that can screw in the top to stop any leaks too. All right, let's take a look at some less common leak spots. So right here, that goes into the cab in there to the evaporator core. It's got seals around here that can leak. You got some seals around here that can leak. Of course, all the O-rings and stuff I already showed you up here. So if we open the glove box right here, you can see up in there, we got our evaporator core up in there. And then we have all the other AC stuff in this box under here. It is a pain to get to. You know, if it leaks, the evaporator core in there leaks, it's a problem. You can cut this box open and get in there, but you gotta take the whole dash apart just to get in there and get to that evaporator core. So you better hope that's not leaking. You know, some of these hoses can leak too. You know, they're rubber, they can go bad over time. They can leak from the crimps up here or from the hose itself. Then of course, we have our condenser under here, sandwiched between the radiator and stuff. That's not fun to fix either, but it can have leaks, you know, it has seals, but that's not as often as these Schrader valves. These things leak the worst. So if you have to get in here and replace the condenser that's behind the radiator, you gotta take everything apart. You gotta pull all that plastic out of the way. You know, it is not fun to have to get in there and see if that's where the leak is coming from. Then of course down in there we got the AC compressor, and it's got fittings on the back of it and they can leak. That's not fun to get down in there and fix, but sometimes you gotta do it. And then down in there you have your compressor. You can see the line going into the top of it right here. You got some seals up there that can leak. Down in here there's an O-ring that goes bad on all of these. It's bad in here too. There's a Schrader valve in there too. You can get a new O-ring, a Schrader valve, and replace all these little valves so it doesn't leak. So this is the pressure switch right here. These things can go bad, but there's an O-ring that seals it up. Kind of looks like it was leaking. See all that gunk around there? I don't know, but it's getting replaced, and that green O-ring is gonna go on there. But 9 out of 10 times I go right down in here and I take a look and I'll find the leaks up here. You know, we don't have to fool with the other stuff. So I like to get the UV dye, put some of it in there when I charge it up. That way we don't have to guess where it's leaking from. And if we see that UV dye leaking out, we'll know exactly where it's leaking from, and we can make sure it's fixed 100%. So everybody keeps asking me, what is this switch for down in here? I got an extra one. What is it for? I don't know, really. To be honest with you, it's probably for a different truck setup, but it's not needed, so we just leave it tucked down in there. So basically when you work on these HVAC systems, it's best to do it with no pressure in there. That's the safest way, you know. you can get that special tool, like I said, and you can swap out the low pressure port valves, but you know, it's kind of sketchy. It's best just to recover the refrigerant and then fix all the leaks, go back in there, recharge it, get it to where it needs to be, and then you're good to go. See what this is looking like. Yep, just as I suspected, the rubber has deteriorated. See how it's bad right there? I'm gonna go ahead and swap that one out in there too. So, you know, some of these seals are O-rings, some of these seals are seals. You just gotta see what kind it is. The little Schrader valves, you know, you can go get each individual seal, or you can get a whole seal kit and reseal the whole entire thing. But honestly, I only fix what's leaking. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the orifice tube is in there. Finally dug this orifice tube out of here. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's cheap to replace. Let's get this new one in here. That was a pain to dig out. There's a hidden O-ring back up in here too. So, you know, if you can find an O-ring kit, get the green O-rings. They're the best for HVAC. You know, some of these sizes aren't standard sizes in the O-ring kit, so you have to be careful. But normally you can size them up and match your new O-ring to your old O-ring. All right, so I went down to Harbor Freight. They had some O-rings that fit. This one right here and this one right here. So this one right here, this size, fit in here. And then this size, fit in here. All right, here's the new parts right here. So we got the high pressure valve here. We got some new Schrader valves and a cap and, you know, O-ring in there. Let's get that little plastic ball in there. That's where it leaks. Yeah, this new one's looking much better. Found this special tool, vice grips. Oh yeah, she's old. Get the new one in. All right, so we got the valves replaced. We have to go for 0 leaks on these HVAC systems. It's not like an oil leak, you know, oh, it leaks a little bit here and there. No, man, it's not acceptable. It's gotta be 100% sealed, because any leak will drain that refrigerant down and the system will just stop working over time. All right, so that was the cat eye. Let's go over here and take a look at the Chevy Avalanche while we're at it. It's got a pretty similar setup. So if we look down in here on the Chevy Avalanche, it's the exact same setup as the bubble eye and the cat eye. You know, we got the same low pressure valve right here, same pressure switch right here, and then you can see that high pressure valve right there a little bit better. Same seals up near the firewall, same heater core under the dash, same box, everything, except this is an O2, so it has a cabin filter in there. All right, so that's it for the video. Worked on the cat eye a little bit, the bubble eye a little bit. The trucks are running great, so, you know, half the battle is finding the leaks. Once you find them, they're easy to fix. They're just O-rings and seals, swap them out, and they won't leak in the future. So once you charge it up, you should be good to go for a couple of years. Don't forget to drop me a huge thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more Chevy tips in the future. Check you out on the next one. Later.